Hello and welcome to another BFN video. Hope you're having a good day. Let's talk about the Koregaon Bhima Battle History, past and present. Before starting this story, let's get few things straight. First thing first, violence committed against people, destruction of public property is not justified in any situation. Discrimination of people based on caste and religion has no place in the modern Indian society. I will advise you to watch this video with open mind and keep aside your caste and religious identity. So let's start. On the 1st January 2018, about 50,000 Dalits, mainly from the Mahar community, came to celebrate the victory in the historic battle which took place 200 years ago in the small town of Koregaon Bhima near Pune city, between the East India Company and the Maratha Empire, led by Peshwas. On that day, a separate group of protesters, allegedly from the right-wing organizations, emerged in Koregaon Bhima. When the two groups were close to each other, it is claimed that the protesters attacked and pelted stone towards the people celebrating the event, and suddenly riots started between the two groups. In the riots, one person was dead and about 40 vehicles were put on fire. As a result, protests were held all over the Maharashtra to condemn the violence that took place in the Koregaon Bhima. On the next day, 2nd of January, Prakash Ambedkar, a prominent political leader of Dalits and grandson of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, called for a bandh in Maharashtra. On 3rd of January, bandh was followed in Maharashtra. Shops were closed, trains were stopped by protesters, and also a violent protest took place. Buses and other public property was vandalized, and a media reporter from NDTV was attacked and had to run for his life. So the question arises, what happened 200 years ago in the Koregaon Bhima? The history slightly varies depending upon the source which you refer, but broadly, the history remains the same. It all started in the December of 1817, when the Peshwa Baji II was moving towards the Pune to attack the East Indian Company forces of the British, which controlled the Pune at that time. This news got to the Colonel Charles Bartonburg, the commander of Pune for East India Company. He immediately asked the company troops stationed at Shirur for help. The company troops from Shirur reached the Koregaon village, which was located on the banks of the Bhima river. The Peshwa Baji II and his forces encountered the British forces in the Koregaon Bhima. The Peshwas forces comprised of 20,000 cavalry troops, soldiers on the horsebacks, and 8,000 infantry, the foot soldiers. These soldiers included Arabs, Goswamis, and Marathas. The company troops comprised of total of 834 men, of which 500 soldiers from the 2nd Battalion of the 1st Regiment of Bombay Native Infantry, 300 cavalry soldiers, and 24 European and 4 native Madras artillerymen with 2 6-pounder guns. The company troops of Indian origin included Mahars, Marathas, Rajputs, Muslims, and Jews, but the majority of soldiers were from the Mahar community. At first, Peshwa's 5,000 infantry soldiers, which were ahead of Peshwa's base, returned to the base to inform the arrival of British troops, which had positioned themselves on the other side of Bhima river. Immediately on the 1st January 1818, the Peshwa dispatched 3 infantry parties of Arabs, Goswamis, and Marathas. Each party comprised of 300 to 600 soldiers. About 2,000 soldiers took part in the battle from the Peshwa side. The parties crossed the Bhima river at 3 different points and engaged in the fighting with the company troops. But after a long bloody fight, the company troops were able to defend their positions. As a result, Peshwa's forces stopped fighting and left the village because of the British reinforcement was coming. In this battle, Peshwa lost about 500 to 600 soldiers, and the company's 275 soldiers were killed, wounded, or missing, out of which 50 soldiers of Indian origin were killed. This included 22 Mahars, 16 Marathas, 8 Rajputs, 2 Muslims, and 2 Jews. The battle is seen as a victory of Mahars against the injustice of Peshwas. Thousands of people from Mahar community have been gathering in the Bhima Koregaon on the January the 1st to pay their respect at the Vijay Sthamb. The pillar was erected by East India Company in the memory of those who fought in the battle and includes the names of the Mahar soldiers who died in the battle. The result, Peshwas were later forced to hand over the powers, and the East India Company took over the Maratha Empire. The big question is what we can learn from these two incidents, one from the history and another from the present situation. The British used divisions in our society to destroy our country and rule for centuries. Today, there are divisive forces which are trying to do the same thing, divide us by building instabilities in our society to make political gains. Just look at the tweet of Rahul Gandhi, quoting him. The central pillars of RSS and BJP's fascist vision for India is that Dalits should remain at the bottom of Indian society. Una, Rohit Vemula, and now Bhima Koregaon are the potent symbols of resistance. End quote. Reacting to this, the first post writes in its article, instead of displaying responsible behavior as a president of the India's grand old party, Rahul's tweet was an effort to keep alive rift that he hopes would bring him political dividends. This wasn't an isolated effort. Members of his party started issuing similar statements, as did some opposition leaders. This makes no sense. RSS and BJP would be involved in it anyway. I say this because there is a strong reason for this. BJP and RSS would not make such mistake to divide the Hindu vote bank because it will prove to be counterproductive. The easiest way to find the culprits for this instability is to understand who has benefited from this divide. There is a great article explaining this caste politics in the first post. You must surely read this to understand why opposition political parties are creating these instabilities. Link to this article and other articles is in the description. Congress and other opposition parties do not have answer to the popularity of Narendra Modi, and as the general elections are closed, these parties will play the caste card and create divide in the Hindu vote bank. The right way to react to this kind of divisive politics is not to fall in the traps and instabilities created by the political parties. Progress is in the future, not in the past. Let's make pledge to keep unity in our country. What do you think about this dirty politics by Congress and other parties? Write down in the comments below, and if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel and share this video with your family and friends. And at last, thank you for watching and have a good day.